We are just waiting on Phil Foden. He is going to be joining us in a moment. So just before he does, let's get a little bit out of the way on what you thought of his contribution throughout the game.
He's an exceptional talent. We know that. I feel sorry for him at times because he's up against some of the best midfield players in the world, and his game time has been limited because of that. But he's just got to keep working hard, keep doing what he can. Today, at times, thought he did very, very well. There were times where maybe trying a little bit too hard, which is completely understandable. You get your chance, you want to impress. You almost want to do too much at times. And as you get old, like we are, and you get a bit more experienced, you learn not to do that. But he's 18. He's a fantastic talent.
As a striker, Darren, what impresses you the most about watching him play?
To be fair, it's just what I like about him, he always looks forward. Now, as a front man, that is the best thing in the world. When you've got a midfield player that wants to slip that key pass, wants to always look forward and give you the ball, you can't teach that, to be fair. You get some great midfield players, but they're very side to side. Like Fernandinho's unbelievable what he does, but he's never going to play that killer pass. Whereas Foden, whenever he gets it, he's always looking for that killer pass, and sometimes he might give it away, but there's always going to be that one opportunity where he does get it right and they score from it. So I'm the same as Dan. I thought he played really well today, does some good stuff, and he's only 18 at the same time.
And I think that comes from Pep Guardiola as well.
Yeah.
I'm going to give you a little quiz, sorry. But he becomes the third youngest goal scorer at Manchester City. So who are the other two?
James Milner.
He's not actually.
No,
he was at Leeds.
He was correct for you, yeah.
I'm hoping I can remember them now.
Manchester City.
Sean Wright-Phillips?
No. It's Daniel Sturridge and Micah Richards, I think, was the other.
Micah.
So there you go.
Mika would have been 17 maybe.
Yeah. But, he's got a lot of talent and, a good future ahead of him. Jadon Sancho, of course, left, went to the Bundesliga. There's been a lot of chat about whether he should stay. Same at Chelsea with Callum Hudson-Odoi. Do you think that this is the right place for him? I mean, he's obviously getting his chances next season.
I believe. Stay here next season and work with these players and work with this coach and develop. If he hasn't started 10, 15 games by the end of next season,
then he needs to.
I then think he's got to have a serious look at his future.
So if you're his agent, would you have to have that conversation with Pep Guardiola?
Of course you do.
You need a certain number of appearances.
I think himself, he needs to go and speak to Guardiola himself.
And it depends. That there's talk of Manchester City bringing in more midfielders. In the summer. He's a great talent, but he needs to be playing. That's
the problem in his position.
He doesn't want to get caught in that catch-22 situation where he's too good for them to let him go.
Yeah.
It's still potential. He's not quite worth 40, 50 million yet, but that's what City would want. No one's going to pay that just now. They don't really want him to go out on loan because they want him as part of the squad. He doesn't want to be here 2 or 3 years' time and still only paid 20, 30 games.
I don't want it to be like Loftus-Cheek because I'm a really big fan of Ruben Loftus-Cheek, but the problem is he's stuck in this situation where he went on to Palace on loan, was brilliant, came back to Chelsea, he's not got the opportunities now. What he needs to worry about is players like Phil Foden coming up behind him, because you're going to get to a point where Phil Foden's going to start playing more regularly, and then Loftus-Cheek can think, well, I've wasted 4 or 5 years sitting on Chelsea's bench playing in the Europa or
and also with England. Obviously, you've got a mini tournament in the summer. You've got the Euros the season after. If he hasn't played enough games, he's going to start looking at people like Sancho, Odoi, that are getting it in the England squad ahead of him.
I wonder who you think will go further of those 3 players. I know so much is dependent on the kind of opportunities they get, but looking at the raw talent between Jadon Sancho, Hudson-Odoi and Phil Foden.
I mean, they're all exceptional players. You've got 2 wingers in there. Raheem Sterling, they're up against, Rashford can play in that wide position. It's going to make it very, very difficult, but they've all got a fantastic chance.
I mean, the key thing is Jadon Sancho is playing.
Phil, congratulations.
Well done. Thanks, squeeze in.
Well done. Your first Premier League, come closer to me actually. First Premier League goal on your 2nd Premier League start. How did it feel?
Yeah, it's a special moment for me to get my first Premier League goal in such a big game, and it means a lot as well. We need to win every game to win the league, so I'm just happy to come in and do a job today for the team.
Darren Bent and Danny Mills are joining us. I'm sure they want to ask you a few questions.
I mean, how hard has it been for you in terms, we were just talking about it then, you're up against some of the best talent in the world. You've got to be incredibly patient. You must be chomping at the bit to get that first start. It's almost like you want to play. I'm pretty sure you don't want the game to end. You don't want to come off. You want to play 90 minutes, 180 minutes, and just keep playing football. Yeah,
it's very difficult because obviously the team, they're all great lads and great players. So, I'm still 18 years old, so there's no rush really, and I'm just trying to take my opportunities when they come. And luckily today I got one, and I'm very happy to help the team.
What's Guardiola said to you about being patient and that your opportunity is going to come?
Yeah, just keep training well every day and working hard, and that's all I can do. And he said he'll give me opportunities when the lads are a bit tired. So yeah, I'm just waiting for them.
Was it a bit of a surprise today, having not been involved midweek, to suddenly come into
surprise,
a huge game really in terms of the league performance? Because now it was always going to be a little bit flatter after that. And we said beforehand, actually, someone like yourself playing in is good for the crowd. It's good for you. You're going to be keen to impress. And we thought actually it was probably a good idea that you might just give that spark, and of course after 5 minutes you did.
Yeah, you could tell some of the lads it took it out of them today, the Champions League game. But yeah, we managed to get the result, and that's the main thing. And we keep pushing on now and just trying to win every game, because that's what we need to do.
So Phil, let's talk about your goal. You got a great header from Sergio Aguero, but talk it through from your perspective.
Yeah, it came to come in the air, and I thought I'd just try and make the back post, and you never know, it could come to me, and luckily it did, and I was there to tap it in.
Had you thought about the celebration you might do? Did it all kind of go blank? How did it feel?
Yeah, it definitely went blank. I just lost my emotion.
I'm so glad to hear that. So glad to hear that you had nothing premeditated.
Yeah, definitely.
Was there sort of anyone that you kind of thought at that moment, I thank you for this moment, or I think some people can get quite emotional about it. Did you feel that way?
I just felt it's everything I've been working for since a kid. So yeah, like I said, my dreams come true. Scoring my first league goal. I did start against Cardiff, so yeah.
There has been a bit of chat about you obviously moving away, and I know City fans of course want you to stay to have your opportunities, but when you look at the likes of Jadon Sancho and Callum Hudson-Odoi is obviously getting his chances at Chelsea as well, other young players, what's your sort of thought process about what you need to keep you here? I know you say you're being patient.
Yeah, everyone has their own plan. Some go and some stay, and I see myself playing here in the future if I just keep my head down and keep working hard and improving each year. So that's what I'm trying to do really, and I love this club and I want to play for them in the future and forever really.
And the title race is on.
Yeah, definitely. Let's keep going.
Okay, brilliant. Thank you very much. Cheers, thanks for joining us.
Well done today. Great.
Cheers, guys.
Phil. Top man.
Thanks very much. So 1 point clear at the top of the table. Really, really exciting stuff, and it's great to hear from him. He does seem like he's very, very relaxed, isn't he? He's very.
Yeah, he's had enough of interviews already. Though. You can tell that. It's like that. Get used to it, kids. You're a good player. You're going to be asked an awful lot of interviews in the future.
You get the impression that he's not particularly into that side of things. Some people seem to really relish the media.
He's 18.
He'll talk to us.
I mean, he's very, very young, and he hasn't really done an awful lot of that. He hasn't been thrown into the spotlight, and he will have been protected by Guardiola, by the club, as Sir Alex Ferguson used to protect all those. We didn't get an interview from Paul Scholes until he'd retired. That was how they used to get looked after.
But then did he speak? It was funny actually, because over the years I tried to speak to him so many times, he wasn't having any of it, and then suddenly it all comes out post retirement.
We know he's an exceptional talent. Yeah. We've seen that. Being patient as a young player when you're that good,
it's hard.
Must be really hard. Yeah. And he's just got to wait. Any other team, he'd be in a team every single week. But equally, he will be learning and improving so much from the players that are around him, day in, day out. David Silva, Bernardo Silva, Kevin De Bruyne, those Aguero even, all those players, and Guardiola. So he just has to sit, I think, for another season and see what happens, and then maybe have a look at it.